Okay, well, we're back in the shop here. We're going to do something again. And we're not going to talk about this today because this thing is working pretty good. We've got it all fixed up. Oh, here's my little Zuki. Anyways, in order to test the tubes on there, we needed one of these. Because I had a friend of mine come over, he wanted to test. Right there, it says it all, man. Heathkit. I love Heathkit stuff. Boy, I don't know, those days are gone. But it's a Heathkit tube tester. And it's probably from the 60s. And actually, we got another one here from the 40s or 50s. I don't know, it's old. I didn't want to power it up. The cord's pretty well cracked. But anyways, it's this thing's pretty slick. So we're going to go back to this one here. First time I used one of these, like I say, a friend of mine came over yesterday. He had two radios. He had a Heathkit shortwave that I gave him. He got a new, he got it all working pretty good, but he just wanted to make sure that the tubes are working up to snuff and all that. And he did that one. He had another radio from the 30s that he wanted to check the tubes on it. And first time I used one of these. So it's got, like you see, it's got different tube sockets for different types of tubes on both sides. It's got a test switch button here, and off and on. It's got a filament adjustment, a plate adjustment, line set, and it's got all these little buttons in front here, and it's got a type. So we're not going to actually test anything today. We're just going to show you basically how to do it. So let's say you had this tube right here, and it says, I don't know if you'll be able to focus on. It's it's called 12AZ7. So let's say we had a 12AZ7 tube we were going to test. This thing goes back and forth to rotary dial. This paper, this tells you, where to set it. So we're going to go over here. It says type. So we're going to type and 1. Okay, that's what type it is. The filament. So we're going to type is number 1. You can put 2. So type is number 1. Check. Filament is at 6.3. A bit of a glare. 6.3. Check. Then the plate, this thing turns back and forth. We're going to set it at 20. 20. Then top and bottom. So we're at the top here. It says top. It says A and B. So reflect these two to A and B. Bottom would be C, D, and E. C, D, and E. Okay, so that is basically everything is set to test this tube right here. Okay, which is the 12AZ7. So we will put the tube in the right slot where it would go. As you would put it in the slot, you'd see the tube start to glow if it's working properly. In this radio, they were working good. I figured this. I'm just using this as an example. It's not what the tubes were in this radio. So we let the tube warm up for a while. It would start glowing, glowing, glowing. It would look good. You press, of course, you put it on. Make sure this is on, and this thing lights up. It's pretty slick. And then you press test, and you would see this needle go up. Now, if it tests good, it's going to be like from 60 to 100%. So mine, like some of them were like 70%, which were still good. Now some were bad, but we weren't sure if the sockets were loose or not. So maybe these sockets have to be cleaned a little bit. But yeah, this is my first attempt at using the tube tester from the 60s, and it is a Heathkit, the Heath Company. Look at this; it was right there. You can see that. Okay. Old Michigan, man. This thing's pretty slick. And you could test all kinds of tubes. Now, it actually had a book here with all piece of paper here with all the different types of tubes in here that you can test. Some of the tubes in my friend's radio from the 30s, we weren't able to test it with this one because the chart wasn't. We couldn't find the chart to test the tube for the radio from the 30s. We would have had to use this one. Now this one here, it's basically the same. I don't know what shunt is. I don't know what that is. I don't tube selector. So I guess what tube type would be. Filament voltage, I guess. And it's got this other button on top. I don't know, line control in. I honestly, guys, I don't know how to use this one. I don't want to, but this is what it is. It's a model, and it's made by Stark, I believe. Yeah, it's pretty slick. Where's that made? Electronics Filament Limited. Okay, and yeah, it's pretty slick. So this is my little video on my very first attempt to use a tube tester, which is you don't see these much anymore. I think I saw one of these on Kijiji, the guy who wanted $300 for it, and it's not something you would need often, especially nowadays. Everything is oh, there's my little Zuki. Everything is you know, transistorized and really small IC chips. So this is kind of a dying, well, it is dead. It died a long time ago, unfortunately. But there's still people out there that enjoy running these things. And to me, it was an experience. I never used one of these before. I was able to test my tubes and my radio, which all tested pretty good. So that gave me a bit of confidence that the tubes are good in this radio. And the radio's working great. And so that's my bit of video on my 60s Heathkit tube tester. And it's a model TC-2. I don't know if anybody wants to know about that. But it's pretty slick. And thanks for watching my YouTube videos. I appreciate all electronic stuff that we're posting. Like I say, disclaimer, I'm not a professional at any of this stuff. But I'm learning, and I'm having fun learning, so I'll enjoy your comments. If you have anything you want to tell me about these things, or just feel free to let me know. So have a nice day, guys, and be safe out there, and keep on transmitting.